Call the meeting to order. It's 9:30. Do we have an
I don't have anybody.
We have no invocation. We'll rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we properly noticed, Jerry?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Roll call.
District 1, Beitlich.
Present.
District 2, Semke. District 3, Gady. Here. District 4, Bringy.
Here.
District 5, Ofty.
Present.
District 6, Pedretti.
Here.
District 7, Meehan Strew. District 8, David Egan.
Here.
District 9, Olson.
Here.
District 10, Easterday. Here. District 11, Jacobson.
Here.
District 12, Henry. District 13, Taylor. District 14, Yitri. District 15, Schweiger. District 16, Wilson.
He's absent.
District 17, Muller. District 18, Mitchell. District 19, Stanek. Do we know Kyle is going to be absent, or is he?
Yes.
You have 17 present and 2 absent. You might want a motion to
Refuse. Motion to approve.
excuse.
Mary. And second by Beitlich. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve the minutes of April 18th meeting. Any additions, corrections, questions on the minutes? Seeing none, move to approve. Mary, Bringy, second by Gail. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Audience of visitors or anybody online?
Use a mic.
Use the mic.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tom Lukens, resident Webster Township. I hope to speak on the dam subject, but this is my pet subject here. I want to address you again. As you've heard me say previously, the economics of the landfill's expansion were and have proven to be faulty, largely because no business proceeds with expansion when its economic model is hugely dependent on a single client. Things changed. Flow control was bluster. Consequently, the county is now considering going into the solid waste business and to compete with private enterprise. Because Vernon County is one of the 2 smallest holdout municipal landfills in the state, we are being deaf to solid waste's future. To go this route runs counter to the economies of scale of the contemporary spoken hub solid waste model, which, after all, is a model where true recycling takes place. As a result, and I believe tragically, inadequate budget projections are resulting in a proposal to make Vernon County a destination dump site for other counties and communities. Heck, bringing in solid waste from outside the county was once a contentious issue with Southwest Sanitation, and at that time, the county was on the other side of the issue. Not only this, but now other revenue increases are being considered to support the landfill expansion. Previously, revenue and tax increases were bad words in this county. As county supervisors, I hope you will reconsider the wisdom of landfill expansion. Expansion puts the county financially at risk, puts the county in a business we should not be in, and it is a business with unique environmental risks and very long-lasting liabilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Any other announcements or audience of visitors? Welcome.
Okay, hi. My name's Evan Blattner. I live in Viroqua, city of Viroqua. As members of the governing body of the county, I would like you to consider the following question. What do you want more of in your life or in Vernon County to make it better? If your answer was more advertising, then you can ignore me for the next couple minutes. I tried to ask the board a few years ago about this subject, but was met with little interest in finding out how to address it. I come to you now because the city of Viroqua had to address it very recently, and soon you may have to as well. My ask the first time around was to put a moratorium on billboards. I would honestly like to have fewer, but putting a hold on adding any more would feel like a win to me. After all, our local businesses need to advertise their offerings, and I am very proud to actively support our local businesses. When I travel and approach a city, I notice that the number of billboards increases a lot, and I am forced to change my thinking and attitude from enjoying the natural beauty of the day into considering the commercial needs of our capitalistic society and consumption. Now, if I need to find a place to buy building materials, a doggy daycare, or a lawyer to sue someone for my injuries, I could use many sources, including a billboard, but who does that? In fact, for me personally, I put the billboard advertiser on my don't shop there list as a way of paying my respects to the view that was spoiled. Also, I have no data to back this up, but I feel that the distractions of billboards, especially digital billboards, makes for a more dangerous traffic environment. Couple this with the fact that when entering a community, there is all of a sudden more driveways and traffic going different directions at different speeds, including pedestrians. It's the exact situation I wish drivers were paying more attention. Did anyone answer more distractions? Now the city of Viroqua was recently approached by Big Billboard, Lamar, to replace a particular sign they own at the north end with an electronic one. A digital sign that carries the message of 8 different advertisers, rotated every 8 seconds, or however fast the DOT will let them. More ads, more light pollution, more electricity use, as they will have to go extra bright during the day to be seen. More hazardous electronic waste as signs burn out. More like a big city. Not why people live here and not why people visit here. We and they want to distance ourselves from the cities. I know that these electronic boards have their advantages, mostly for the sign owner who would employ fewer people to print and change signs. But I'm not interested in the profit margins of an advertising company. In fact, I would not be surprised if an ad on an electronic sign would cost more to a local advertiser, given the attention-grabbing power of them. Lamar's presentation to the city suggested that there was a great need for what they have to offer. I don't know about the north end of Viroqua, but there are 2 boards at the south end of town that have been unused for a while, and 2 more entering Reedstown, none of which are owned by Lamar. I don't generally keep inventory on this stuff, but that's what I've seen lately. The city said no to the sign, but I don't know what would stop Lamar from asking the county if they can put the sign a few hundred yards north outside of city limits. I would like the county board to gather their thoughts about what they want Vernon County to look like before they're caught off guard by a possibly innocuous seeming request from a company that talks about being local. They're from Louisiana. So with no active commercial request to attend to, I wonder if the county would consider on its own what standards they would like to set in place concerning billboard advertising. And please keep in mind the answer you came up with to my question a couple minutes ago. Thanks for listening. BLA.
Thank you. Any other visitor comments? Anybody online? Okay. We'll move to announcements. I have one, the Rummage on the River put on by whole river, I guess. Fire department down there is having a Bratz hot dog, Amy's Baked Good Sale and More down there. First responders are sponsoring it. I guess it's a good time. I've never had the opportunity to do it, but I have a lot of relatives that spend all weekend gathering that stuff up. So, the May 19th and 20th. I don't know, sunrise till sunset, I guess. I don't know.
Goes on all day.
Goes on all day. Hey, any other announcements? Mary?
I would just like to acknowledge that Chet Lee passed away last week, and Chet was the board chair and also a county board supervisor for many, many years.
Thank you. Dave?
Westby is celebrating their Norwegian independence this weekend, 20th and the 21st, the giant parade on Sunday at 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30.
Set
So you're-
mine?
It's a good time.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions. Resolution 2023-31, amend paragraph 2 of the county board rules. Motion to bring it to the floor. Dave and Martha.
Morning. This resolution is to adjust the language to declare a disaster. In the past, it was the county administrator and then board chair and then vice chair. This changes the language if we have a disaster on who can sign that disaster declaration, in what order. I went through public safety and they passed to have it board chair, vice chair, and then county administrative coordinator in that order. Usually if we have a disaster impending that we may know of, everybody's in the loop already anyway, all of those top people, but we have to have something so I know who to call in what order if I can't get a hold of somebody. So
Any questions? All in favor of resolution 2023-31, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-32, amend the ordinance chapter 18, article 2, section 18. Motion to bring it to the floor. John and Charlie? John.
all right, this is part of the ordinance, county ordinances. This goes along the same lines as the previous resolution, just amending the ordinance language, section 18-36, changing it from county administrator to administrative coordinator, for who I report to, and then 18-37, changing it from county administrator to county board chair. Went through public safety as well, and they agreed unanimously to make those two changes. The rest of the ordinance stays the same.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of resolution 2023-32, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-33, revise the current real estate transfer fees revenue. Motion by Dave to bring it to the floor. Alice Ann, seconds.
Hi there. So currently, when there's a transfer of property, the county retains 20% of the transfer fee, and the rest of that 80% of the fee goes to the state. So in a collaboration with the other Wisconsin counties, the other Register of Deeds, we are asking to change that back to a 50-50 split so that the county would retain 50% of the transfer fee.
Any questions or comments?
How did it ever go to the 2080? Does anyone know?
I guess I don't really know. I know it was back in the early 80s that it was changed. Because it used to be 50-50.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution 2023-33 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-34 requests to use state budget surplus for county highway maintenance. Motion to bring it to the floor. Charlie. Second by Ole. Bill?
You got your mic on?
Broken arrow. This is, there's extra money in the state budget. According to the news last night, not quite as much as they thought there was, but all the counties are passing this resolution to request that additional funding from that surplus be put into local road improvement program and other county highway funding sources.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution 2023-34 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-35, increase hourly wage for summer paint crew operators. Motion to bring it to the floor. Kelly, second by Mary Bringy.
This is a similar situation to what we did last year with the Highway 14 snowplow routes. Little bit of overview on it. The paint truck is a highly technical piece of equipment, and it requires a 4-man crew that has to have be very cohesive. There is a high degree of danger with it. You're painting a truck at 8 miles an hour in traffic that's doing 55, 60 miles an hour. We can't be, because of all the things above, I can't get staffing to volunteer for that truck. And it's not the type of piece of equipment that I can force somebody to go on it. Because if you don't want to be there, the level of detail that's required to make that truck work and to produce a good product, it just doesn't work. We've tried it before and unsuccessful. So my solution was we actually had an employee that was on the paint crew quit, go to another job. The magic number seems to be that increase of $4 an hour to get people hopefully on it. I mean, obviously, I haven't put this out to the crew yet, but I think this would help and enhance it where you do. That crew travels throughout the Southwest, painting for multiple counties and the DOT and the Fort McCoy contract that we signed a couple of years ago. Doing this, I think, would make things work. And the good news about this is that 100% of this is funded by somebody else, whether it be the DOT, other counties, Fort McCoy. And through the way we do our billing, we're not allowed to make a large profit, but we make enough off it where it pays for our painting. So it's really no cost to the county. And hopefully I get a cohesive crew. This year is especially bad. The FHWA and the Bureau of Highways is changing the type of line we're painting. So I have to have a really cohesive crew and a well-trained crew to make this work. You're all well aware, you've seen the yellow spots in the road that aren't supposed to be there. If you make a mistake on this truck, it's there for the next 5, 10, or longer years. So anybody's got any questions on that?
I was wondering, what kind of change can you make on a line of the state?
Going to make it wider with the autonomous vehicles and all the sensors on the vehicles. And they've done studies that prove a wider line with wider gaps enhances traffic safety. And it's, trust me, it's more complicated to make the line wider. That truck was built to do a 4-inch line. Now they want us to do a 6-inch and a 10-inch. It's a the stretch. A lot of the counties aren't going to be able to do it because their trucks aren't capable of performing it, so they don't really know what we're going to do statewide.
Any questions? All those in favor of resolution 2023-35 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Resolution 2023-36, human resource intern position. Motion to bring it to the floor. Alice Ann, second Martha.
Hi, it's Tricia. I'm going to speak on this. So we are requesting to fill an intern position that has not been filled for several years. I believe the last time it may have been posted was 2004. Our main focus of this individual will be to update the personnel files to electronic documents, with the hope that with our new solution, everything will be going to electronic. So this will be beneficial when that solution comes. We'll be prepared for that movement. I have spoke with IAT, and Connor is in strong support of this. It presents the opportunity for more streamlined workflow, cost savings, more accessible, secure, protected against natural disasters. So if the building were to burn down or there was a tornado, all of our personnel files would be protected, theft or misplacement. Other duties, besides just doing the electronic files, would include updating our policies that are in need of updating, job descriptions. They would also be involved in the recruitment process, scheduling, posting positions, also assisting with the onboarding process. This position would be a non-benefited part-time or full-time position. We'd give the opportunity for whatever that individual would be available to work, understanding that they would be a college student on spring or summer break, excuse me. So this would be through June through August. This position will be within the department budget, and the individual will be on the wage pay grade of A. Again, depending on their experience and their education is where we would place them. I feel that the HR internship will also give Vernon County the opportunity to provide a learning experience and real life knowledge to a local college student who is looking to gain experience in government, business administration, or human resources. I hope to provide this individual with an environment to help them grow personally and also professionally. I myself did an internship while I was in college, and I feel that it really assisted me with where I am today. So I would hope to provide that to another college student as well.
Any questions or comments for Trish? Seeing none. All those in favor of passing resolution 2023-36 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-37, quick claim deed to the village of Chaseburg. Motion to bring it to the floor. Alice Ann. Kelly?
This one. Hello. All right, this is for parcel number 111-00019-0000 and 111-00036-0000 in the village of Chaseburg. The village of Chaseburg has offered to purchase those two parcels for $2.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of resolution 2023-37, quick claim deed to the village of Chaseburg, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-38, quick claim deed to Richard Gardner. Motion to bring it to the floor. Mary Bringy. Kay Stanek.
This is for parcel 040-00713-0000 and 040-00711-0001 in the village of Victory. Richard Gardner has offered to purchase those two parcels for $3,750.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution 2023-38 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-39, quit claim deed to Vernon Smith. Motion to bring it to the floor. Charlie and Frank.
This is for parcel 176-00078-0000. Richard Gardner has,
Vernon Smith.
whoops.
Oh,
I'll jump
No
in.
wonder.
There's an
Thank you.
error.
Sorry.
So,
Down in the
the
whereas.
resolution at the top says Vernon Smith, but the whereas Richard Gardner. So do I make a friendly amendment?
Motion to amend.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So 176-00078-0000. Vernon Smith has offered to purchase that parcel for $70,001.
we need to vote on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now, all those in favor of, or is there any discussion on the resolution 2023-39? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution 2023-39 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-40, designate administrative coordinator. Motion to bring it to the floor. Dave, second by Ole. We have under here that we may enter in a closed session. We wish not to. If it is, if we keep the conversation to the Cassandra Hannah, then we won't have to go into closed session. If we're going to stray outside of that, in the interest of the confidentiality of the other applicants, then we will go into closed session. So if there's a wish to go into closed session, if you have questions like that, let us know now and we'll go in there into closed session. Alice-Ann?
Well, I was going to, but maybe if I give context to our process, that might eliminate the need to go into closed
Okay.
session. So, okay.
A motion to bring it to the floor. We did that already. Okay.
We did that. Second. Okay, so general government with the board chairperson was charged with filling the position of administrative coordinator or going through the process of bringing a candidate to the floor. We had 12 applicants who applied. After vetting those applicants based on experience needed for the position, we brought it down to 6 that were phone screened. Of the 6 phone screened, 4 were brought for in-person interviews. I have to say we were extremely lucky to get the quality candidates that we did, and it was a very difficult decision. Of those 4 candidates, we brought it down to 2 final candidates, and then we had an interview process or a conversation with department heads so that they could also provide the hiring committee feedback on what they felt with the 2 candidates. In the end, and I cannot illustrate enough, and anybody who sat in on those conversations, this was a very difficult decision. We had 2 very solid candidates in the end. So I just have to exclamation point that for this crew. But in the end, Cassandra Hannon came to us with a degree in public administration. She has over 12 years of proven administrative government experience. She actually grew up around government work. This is her passion, and she has the qualifications that support that. She was very knowledgeable in the working of a board of supervisors and committee work. She was personable, well-spoken, easy to communicate with, and answered really hard questions. So in the end, it was voted that Cassandra Hannon be the candidate that is brought to you today for the approval for the administrative coordinator position.
Thank you, Alice-Ann. Dave?
I would agree with everything she just said. But last week I got the agenda and then now I got a revised one handed to me. So I don't see any purpose of having a closed session meeting. We need to have something very compelling reason to go into closed session because we've been threatened with lawsuits in the past.
Well, that's why if we're going to get into the personalities and for the confidentiality, that's why we would go into the closed session. And like I said, I prefer not to, but we will if we have to, put it that way.
The hope is that those who wanted to be a part of the hiring process, it was open to all county board supervisors, and if they couldn't attend, the hope is that the trust of the committee that was charged to do this work will be, the recommendation will be what's voted on, but we wanted to have respect and safeguarding for people's confidentiality.
We also had, I think, 6 department heads weigh in on the interviews too, and they all admitted to us that they were glad they didn't have to make this decision.
Any other questions or comments? I guess I could say that, as long as we don't get into a walking quorum, if there are other discussions to be had to, basically take it offline, I would imagine. Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution 2023 to designate the administrative coordinator signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, regular order of business. Are there any petitions? What's that?
You passed up the interim.
Oh, sorry about that. Interim administrative coordinators. Sorry, Amy. Gotta get my bifocals adjusted.
Okay, good morning. So this month, I thought I would put together a visual to go along with my report, just because pictures tend to just enhance the report instead of me standing up here just speaking words. So we're going to start with, well, first I want to say I have so much to report on, but I really worked hard to narrow it all down. But there's a lot of good work happening throughout the county that I wanted to share. But I was able to narrow it down to 8. So without further ado, since we've last met, the big breaking news in the county was the train derailment down in Crawford County near DeSoto, where we had 9 cars, 30 containers, and 2 train engines in the water. 2 containers floated downriver before being lodged into trees. What I wanted to share and highlight and give a shout out to is our emergency management director, Brandon Larson, who oversees our hazmat team, which involves 30 members, 14 of which responded with him. Collectively, they spent 150 hours plus responding to this derailment, just to ensure the safety and mitigate any materials or any material spills that may have happened. They were initially worried about the lithium batteries possibly in some of the containers that were in the water, along with paint, but were able to, based on the quantities and the containment of those products, that was not a concern any further. Brandon did share with me that they did deploy 400 feet of river boom, which I had to Google what river boom was. That's the yellow tubing there. But all in all, the railroad is going to be reimbursing the Vernon County Hazmat team for the time of the 14 crew members that worked alongside Brandon, the use of our supplies and our equipment. So that's almost $9,000 that we'll be getting back, $2,500 of which will be revenue to go right back into updating hazmat supplies and equipment. So thank you, Brandon, for your quick response. Dedication, I will say he worked that Thursday from 1 in the afternoon till 1:30 a.m. on Friday and back at it again Friday morning. So thank you, Brandon. Next, I'm excited to share that the Vernon County Health Department and Vernon Memorial Hospital are rebuilding their Buckle Up Task Force. And aligned with that perfectly, they received a grant for $5,000 from the Department of Transportation, $4,000 of which will support the program, $1,000 for staff and needs. But here pictured are Sarah Hewitt and Megan Rahr, who are certified car seat technicians. This summer, the first Tuesday of every month, June to October, they will be performing car seat inspections. This is really targeted toward lower income families in Vernon County who tend to purchase their car seats at rummage sales and don't realize that they are expired and therefore unsafe. So this grant funding will allow any unsafe car seat to be replaced for free with a safe one. So far in 2023, 6 car seat inspections have taken place. 5 of those car seats were replaced with a free one. Also in the Vernon County Health Department, they just launched last week their community wellness program. This program is funded through ARPA funding that the health department has received. But people can make an appointment second Thursday of each month from 7:30 to 10:30 to receive some basic screening. So anyone 18 and older can have their cholesterol, glucose, blood pressure, and pulse tested by a nurse on site. We had our first appointment last Thursday. News Channel 8 was there to capture the story. Amy Kleiber did a wonderful interview. If you want to look that up, I'm sure she'll thank me so much for directing you to that interview, but it was really wonderful. So spread the word on this wonderful program that we're able to offer to the community. Oh, and the intent behind it, really, it's going to help meet a need in the county. There are so many, we have a lot of Amish population. We have a lot of farmers, people who can't make it into to the doctor during the office hours to receive these preventative health screenings. So we're hoping this would be a much quicker option, and also hopefully there might be a potential down the road to do some home visits for those who absolutely can't get to the county health building. Next, I'm happy to report that we received $200,000 in grant funding for the Rural Violent Crime Initiative grant. This grant funding will be used to offer support and new resources to Vernon County around domestic violence situations. Shout out to Susan Townsley with Stonehouse Counseling and Sheriff Torgerson, the Vernon County Sheriff's Department, who put together this wonderful project that was submitted. We actually applied for $150,000 and got $200,000. And I'm going to tell you, in my years of grant writing, that doesn't happen very often. So this must be one very appealing and compelling program that they put together. But this funding will allow us to support 4 initiatives. One is the HEART program, Helping End Abuse Response Team. The intent behind this is to train volunteers to meet local law enforcement at the scene of domestic violence calls. So the law enforcement can work with the perpetrator or the batterer, and this trained volunteer can support the victim and let them know what resources are out there and what support they have to offer. This team will be available Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then Fridays 5 p.m. till Monday at 8 a.m. So really outside of the business hours of the Family and Children's Center and Passages, which is our local domestic violence shelter. During their business hours of operations, they have staff who will respond to these calls with law enforcement. Currently in Vernon County, there are no services currently for batterers. So now with this grant funding, we can train 2 local technicians to run these groups to help change their pathway. Otherwise, the cycle of abuse continues. This will also allow us to offer SANE training, which is sexual assault nurse examiners training. Currently, there is not a resource in Vernon County for those who are victims of sexual assault. We have to transport them to La Crosse. And so now we can train a group of local healthcare practitioners at Vernon Memorial Hospital. And lastly, this grant funding will allow us to establish a coordinated community response team that will help drive all of these initiatives here. But outside of, the sheriff's office and Stonehouse Counseling in developing this project and putting this grant together, there is going to be many other entities and